Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel and part 15 of my vinyl collection tour. So we finished up on Slayer last time, so we'll keep moving on from there. And as I had stated in the last one, the next one up cab off the ranks is Sonata Arctica's Silence. Finnish power metal, absolutely brilliant album, probably top 3 favourite power metal albums of all time. Would be up there with Gamma Ray's Land of the Free, and I don't know, maybe Blind Guardian, Nightfall in Middle Earth might sort of pop in there for me, other or Somewhere Far Beyond perhaps, or Imaginations from the Other Side. From there we have Spawn of Possession in Curso. This is Artisan era release. The special Apparition pressing, which is limited to 150 copies. It's a kind of a swirly type colouring with that. Then we have Striper, Isaiah 53.5. This was part of a record collection I bought, so I haven't listened to it. I did have a copy of Striper's In God We Trust album back in high school, which I really enjoyed. There was some cool guitar stuff on there, but yeah, I can't say much about that one. Then we have Suicidal Tendencies debut album. I bought this on red vinyl. I bought this on a school trip to Melbourne back in, I want to say 1989. It may have been 1990, but I want to say 1989. I got this and an old Suicidal Tendencies t-shirt. My very first metal vinyl that I ever bought. So there was a poster with this, which I think's long gone. So this one's a pretty special vinyl for me. They were my favourite band growing up through high school. Still love the early stuff to this day, but don't listen to it as much as I used to. Know the whole thing like the back of my hand anyway. Joined the army. This is a music on vinyl repress. I picked up one of my more recent trips to Melbourne. Got it from Heartland Records, which is just up from the Victoria Market. Absolutely great store. So if you're ever in Melbourne, be sure, and like Melbourne, Australia that is, and you like metal vinyl, be sure to get to Heartland. They've got an awesome range and some really good prices as well. It's all brand new vinyl, but like if I was to import that from overseas, it's going to end up costing me much more than what I got there. Then we have an original pressing of How I Laugh Tomorrow When I Can't Even Smile Today. First Suicidal album I got, first metal album I got, but I got this on tape originally. Yeah, absolutely love that one as well. Moving on from there, we have World Downfall by Terrorizer. Grindcore featuring Dave Vincent and Pete Sandoval from Morbid Angel. Great album. I think I need to get it on CD. I don't know, or maybe I do have it on CD. I can't remember. Anyway, great album. Then we're getting into Testament. They're not in the Big Four. I think they stand alone from the Big Four because I think they've been more consistent than any band in the Big Four, and I can't really fault any of their albums. Debut here, The Legacy, great album. Some awesome tracks on there. This one's limited green vinyl. It's like Over the Wall, Burnt Off Rings, so on and so on. Then we have The New Order. This is an early pressing. I'm not sure if it's the first or not. I picked this up when a mate was selling off his records. I grabbed what I could. I could have gone totally mental, but limited funds. I think I ended up still buying about $400 worth of vinyl off him. So New Order, great album. Then we have Live at Eindhoven, just a cool little live EP. Haven't listened to it much, but early days stuff, awesome. Then we have Practice What You Preach. Same guy that I got New Order off, I bought Practice off. It's many people's favourite album from that era. It was probably my least favourite. Then we have a music on vinyl pressing of Souls of Black. This was the album that got me into Testament back in the day. I remember there was a TV show called Countdown Revolution. It was on weekdays. I think it was about the same time that the news was on, or maybe just before or just after the news, on a separate channel, and they played the video clip for Souls of Black, and I just remember watching it and thinking Joe Satriani, and I later learned that Alex Skolnick was a student of Satch, so that was kind of wow. And yeah, his guitar playing I think was pretty much a step above everyone at that point, until I guess like Marty had joined Megadeth, and then there was someone worthy. The Ritual, I think it's their sort of answer to the Black album. Probably didn't do as well as it could have. Solid album, but not really up there that much for me. Then we're moving on to Low. This one, big lineup changes. James Murphy on guitar. James Murphy's a god. This album is in my top three. We could go back and forth any day between this and The Gathering. Just the sheer intensity of the Gathering is there's something really special about that album. But this one, I remember when I first heard it, and a mate put it on, he's like, check this out, who do you think this is? I think he played Dog-Faced Gods, and I'm like, don't know, because of Chuck's guttural vocals, and then he played the intro to Ride To Me. I was like, wow, because that was mind-blowing. But absolutely love the Low album, brilliant. Testament, still, I think I've got everything they have on vinyl. The Gathering, this is an original press from back in '99, I think it was. Yeah, I picked this up way back in the day because it's so good. As you can probably tell by the artwork, it's different these days. Anyway, The Gathering, I could ramble on and on about that. I'm not great with song titles, but Fall of Cycle Dome, I think, might be Dave Lombardo's most intense drumming ever. I think it outdoes Angel of Death. Moving on from there, we have, this came out before The Gathering. I'm not sure why I placed it there, but Live at the Fillmore is a brilliant live album. This is on blue vinyl. In my top 5 favourite live albums of all time. It's got James Murphy on guitar. I think Greg Christian was still in the band at this point. Yes, he was. John Detty on drums on that one. He only really ever, I'm going to switch positions with that. He only ever seems to really show up in bands as a live member. I don't think he's done any real studio recordings with like them or Slayer, or definitely not Anthrax. Moving on, this is all over the show actually, because we've got Testament's Demonic. Gene Hoglan on drums on that one. It's a bit more of a straightforward album, but still love it. I'll put it after Live at the Fillmore there. Then keep moving on from there. We have The Formation of Damnation on silver vinyl. Bit of a comeback album after some health issues that Chuck Billy had. Solid album. Not my favourite, but still a solid album. Then we have Dark Roots of Earth. I haven't even pulled this one out of the case yet. It's pressed on electric blue vinyl, limited to 1,000 copies, so not really that limited. It's got the X bonus tracks on there, so there's Dragon Attack, which I can't remember who did, Animal Magnetism. I think one of those might be Scorpions, and Iron Maiden's Power Slave on there. Then continuing on with our Testament, Brotherhood of the Snake. This is probably on some coloured vinyl as well. It says bi-coloured vinyl. I think it's reddish orange and black from memory to match the cover. Cool album. I really like this one. There's some great songs on there. Again, I can't remember much apart from the Pale King because I learnt it on guitar. Then lastly we have Titans of Creation. This is on, I'm sure it's on some coloured vinyl. They did like different elements of the earth, if I recall correctly. not as familiar with it. I'm listening to a lot of death metal and stuff when this came out, so I know it, but not very well. Moving on from there, we have Theatre of Tragedy, Velvet Darkness They Fear, and I believe I have 2 copies of this. They're on different colours, coloured vinyl. I can't remember what it looks like. One might be just from the back of them, one might be slightly gold, and the other's some sort of clear swirl, probably with gold and purple in there. As far as goth metal goes, that's probably the best album that came out that was sort of doing that style. Liv Christine, I think, is arguably the best female vocalist in metal. Just so angelic. People will go on Floor Jansen or Tatiana from Ginger or whatever, but just purely for that style, I think Liv is the best. My opinion. Sue me if you disagree. Actually, you can't, because apart from the record collection, I don't have any money. Next up, we have Therian Woven. I'd kind of like to get all of Therian's stuff on vinyl. I've got it all on CD. This is probably my favourite album from them, either this or Theli. I'm not sure if it was I got into them at this album or if I got into them with Theli. I think there was a song Desert of Set on one of the Nuclear Blast videos that came out, but I've got a feeling I heard the Wild Hunt off this one on radio, 3 Hours of Power, which was a Triple J heavy metal show that used to play back in the day. For the Aussies that remember that, we'll move on from there. Trivium's Shogun. I love this album. It's probably my favourite Trivium album. I haven't got all of their stuff, and I don't know all of their stuff, but I bought that. I'd buy that just purely on the strength of the title track, Shogun, because it's absolutely amazing. And then we're keep going, a little bit old school, Tigers of Pantang, Wildcat. This was out early 80s, 1980 actually. I think the compilation album that Lars did up had a Tigers of Pantang song on it. I think it might even be on this album. I can't remember what it's called, but that's good old school British metal. And moving away from old school British metal, with old school Norwegian black metal, so quite a contrast there. The first Ulva album, and I'll probably butcher the pronunciation, but Bergtat. These guys did very different albums for the first 3, as anyone that listens to these guys know. This one's sort of a majestic-y type black metal. A lot of clean vocals from Garm. It's probably my favourite out of the 3. Then up from that, these are the Century Media reissues, by the way. There was Kveldsanger, if that's how, again, butchering pronunciations, on some limited special vinyl. I'm not sure what colour it is. Looks clear swirl or something. Big departure, because that one was all acoustic and very folky and stuff, but I like that every now and then just to chill out to after having listened to something extreme for the day. Then we have Nathan's Madrigal. What's the translation? Madrigal of Night or something, I think was the English translation. This one's on a bluish vinyl, which you can't really see there because I've transferred it out. Limited light blue vinyl. It says on a sticker. I should be reading those. Again, it's a Century Media pressing. Really harsh and raw. I do like it occasionally, but I've got to be in the right mood for that. Then from there, we have Steve Vai's Flexible. It's a strange album. I heard Passion and Warfare before I got this and loved it, but yeah, this one's a bit out there. I guess his Frank Zappa influence is kind of still quite prevalent at the time when he did that back in the early 80s. Then we have one of the most important guitar records ever, Van Halen's first album, has Eruption and Ain't Talking About Love, He's the One, You Really Got Me, Running with the Devil, all of that stuff. Still fairly close to one of my favourites from, definitely my favourite Van Halen album, and one of my favourites of that particular style. Then lastly for the video we have Vital Remains, Dechristianized. This is the repress from Cosmic Key Creations. This is just a phenomenally awesome, brutal album. Dave Suzuki is just a machine on this, both on drums and guitar. Like, to be that good at drums and that good at guitars should almost be a sin, shouldn't be illegal. Absolutely love this album to death. Not much else to say about that. Anyway, that rounds up part 15 of the collection tour. It looks like it'll be, well, we're up to V, so there's not much more to go. So I'll finish up the collection on the next one, and probably start working on the CDs, which will be much shorter videos, and I've got some other, like, I guess, toy related videos and stuff that I need to get finished and uploaded. But if you've made it this far, thanks for watching. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Until next time, take it easy, and I am over and out.